Nothing in the universe is truly still, not for a second. The ground beneath your feet is spinning at over 1,000 miles per hour. The planet carrying you is racing around the sun. The sun itself is circling the center of the galaxy, and that galaxy is drifting through a vast cosmic web, slowly rotating with billions of others. Spin is everywhere. Planets spin, stars spin, galaxies spin. Even the smallest particles inside atoms are in constant rotation. Stillness, it turns out, is rare. This raises a disturbing question. Why does the universe refuse to stay still? It's not coincidence. It's not random motion. And it's not just gravity doing its job. There is a deeper rule at work, a rule written into the structure of reality itself. In this video, you will discover why rotation appears at every scale of existence, from the birth of the universe to the motion of galaxies, to the invisible spin happening inside your own body right now. You'll learn how tiny imbalances after the Big Bang locked the universe into endless motion, why gravity doesn't just pull things inward but forces them to turn, and how spin became nature's way of creating stability instead of chaos. There's a lesser-known truth most people never hear. Spinning objects last longer. They collapse less easily. They survive. That single fact explains why stars don't instantly fall apart, why planets hold together for billions of years, and why galaxies don't simply crash into their own centers. But it doesn't stop there. At the smallest level, spin isn't just movement, it's an identity. Particles don't merely spin. Their spin defines what they are and how they behave. This means rotation isn't something added to the universe, it's built in. By the end of this video, you'll see motion differently. You'll realize that spin is not a side effect of creation, it's a requirement. And once this idea clicks, a strange realization follows. A universe without spin could not exist for long. Stay until the end, because the final insight connects everything together, from the first moments after the universe began to why your body stays upright, instead of collapsing under its own weight. This isn't just a science story. It's a story about survival, about balance, and about why motion is the price of existence. Welcome to our channel. If you enjoy uncovering the hidden rules that shape reality, subscribe now and stay with us. Look around, and the first clue is already there. The earth beneath you is spinning non-stop. Day and night exist because of that rotation. At the same time, Earth is moving around the sun at incredible speed, following a curved path that never straightens out. The sun is not fixed either. It is traveling through the Milky Way, carrying every planet with it. The galaxy itself is rotating, slowly turning like a massive cosmic wheel. Nothing is standing still. Not the ground, not the stars, not even the space between them. Motion fills everything. And when motion bends instead of moving straight, it turns into spin. This is the pattern hiding in plain sight. Spinning is not rare or special. It is the default state of the universe. Long before science had equations or telescopes, humans noticed this pattern. Early people watched the sky night after night. Stars didn't scatter randomly. They traced circles overhead. The sun followed a repeating path. The moon returned again and again. Seasons came and went in a steady loop. Everything seemed to move in cycles. Rotation felt natural, almost expected, but the reason behind it stayed invisible. Without tools, there was no way to see the forces at work. Motion was observed, but not explained. The sky looked alive, turning with purpose, yet no one knew why it behaved that way. Centuries passed, and curiosity slowly sharpened. Careful observation replaced myth. Patterns were measured, angles were tracked, and a simple but powerful idea emerged. Motion does not like to stop. In physics, once something starts moving, it keeps going unless something interferes. This rule sounds basic, but it changes everything. When motion meets resistance, or when it pulls inward instead of moving freely, it doesn't disappear. It curves, straight motion bends, and when that bending continues, rotation is born. Spin is not a special kind of movement. It is what motion becomes when it is guided instead of blocked. This rule explains why falling matter rarely crashes straight inward. Sideways motion always remains. That leftover motion forces objects to turn as they fall. The result is rotation that grows stronger over time. The universe follows this rule everywhere, from drifting dust to massive stars. Nothing starts from perfect stillness. Nothing moves in a perfectly straight line forever. Motion bends, curves, and twists, creating rotation as a natural outcome. To see where this began, it helps to go back to the earliest moments of the universe. After the Big Bang, matter spread outward in all directions. It wasn't smooth or perfectly even. Tiny differences existed from the start. Some regions were slightly denser than others. These small imbalances mattered more than anything else. Gravity began pulling matter together, but the motion was never perfectly aligned. Particles approached from different angles, carrying leftover sideways movement. As matter clumped together, that sideways motion had nowhere to go. It couldn't vanish. It turned into spin. Over time, loose chaos organized itself. Clouds of gas rotated faster as they collapsed. Centers grew dense while edges spun wider. What started as random motion slowly became structured rotation. Disks formed, cores tightened, spin increased as matter compressed. This process repeated again and again, building stars, planets, and galaxies. The universe didn't plan to spin. It followed simple rules. Motion continued. Gravity pulled inward. Rotation emerged as the natural result. Gravity plays a deeper role than most people realize. It doesn't just pull things downward or inward. It reshapes how motion survives. When gravity acts on matter, it pulls toward a center, but nothing ever falls in a perfectly straight line. There is always some sideways movement left over. That sideways motion may be tiny, almost invisible, but it matters. As gravity pulls inward, that leftover motion forces matter to curve instead of collapse directly. Falling becomes turning. Turning becomes spinning. This is how loose clouds of gas transform into rotating disks. This is how planets take shape instead of crashing into the stars that create them. This is how galaxies grow into vast rotating systems rather than shrinking into dense points. Gravity doesn't erase motion, it redirects it, locking it into rotation. As gravity continues its pull, rotation speeds up. The closer matter moves toward the center, the faster it spins. This isn't random behavior. It follows a simple rule of nature. When space tightens, motion intensifies. The universe uses this rule repeatedly, forming stable systems instead of destruction. Without this process, planets could not hold their paths, stars would tear themselves apart, galaxies would collapse into chaos. Spin turns gravity from a destructive force into a creative one. There is another layer beneath this process. The universe seems shaped in a way that encourages rotation. Nature prefers balance, and balance is hard to maintain in straight-line motion. Spinning spreads energy across space. It distributes forces instead of concentrating them at one point. This makes structures last longer. Rotation creates stability where stillness would lead to collapse. A spinning object resists change. It holds its form. It stays organized. This is why spinning tops stay upright. This is why planets maintain their shape. This is why galaxies survive for billions of years. Spin is not an accident that happens along the way. It is a solution built into the behavior of matter itself. When energy spreads evenly, systems endure. Rotation allows that spread. It prevents matter from falling inward all at once. It delays collapse. It gives time for structure to form. Nature doesn't choose spin randomly. Spin is the easiest way to keep complexity alive. Without it, the universe would simplify itself into silence. This pattern doesn't stop at large scales. It continues as we zoom inward. Atoms spin. Electrons carry angular motion. Subatomic particles have spin as a defining property, even when they are not physically rotating like tiny spheres. Their spin determines how they interact, how they bond, and how matter behaves at its most fundamental level. Even the vacuum of space is not perfectly calm. Fields fluctuate, energy twists. Motion never fully disappears. Rotation exists where nothing was expected to move at all. This is the shocking part. Spin is not something that appears only in stars and galaxies. It exists in the building blocks of reality. It shapes how matter forms, how forces interact, and how the universe holds itself together. Rotation is woven so deeply into existence that removing it would unravel everything. Everything you've seen comes back to one simple truth. The universe spins because motion survives. From the first moments after creation, movement never fully disappeared. It bent, curved, and adapted. Gravity pulled matter inward, but it could not erase sideways motion. Instead, paths curved. Falls became turns. Turns became rotation. Balance demanded it. Without spin, matter would collapse too quickly. Structures would fail. Complexity would vanish. Stillness is fragile. It breaks under pressure. Spin, on the other hand, holds things together. It spreads energy. It creates stability. It allows planets to orbit, stars to endure, and galaxies to exist for billions of years. This is why everything turns, not by chance, not by design, but because rotation is the most stable way for motion to continue. And this truth goes deeper than the largest objects in the sky. The same rule applies at the smallest scale. Particles carry spin as part of their identity. Atoms rely on it. Even empty space is never fully at rest. Motion is not something added to the universe. It is what the universe is made of. When you look at the stars turning above or feel the steady rhythm of time passing, you are witnessing the same rule repeating itself across all of existence. So here's the final question to sit with. If spin exists everywhere, from galaxies to particles, is the universe alive with motion, or is motion the universe itself? If this video helped you see reality differently, support the channel by liking the video and subscribing. More hidden truths are waiting, and this is only the beginning.